We ready? Yes. I'd like to call to order the City of Indio Public Arts Commission for Tuesday, November 8th, 2022, 5:30 p.m. We have roll call, please.
Commissioner Gutierrez,
Present.
Commissioner Becerra, Commissioner Cruz-Zendejas. Here. Vice Chairperson Niermeyer.
Here.
Chairperson Shinsky.
Here. Okay. Commissioner Cruz-Zendejas, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 3, do we have any public comments? A request for comment? No? And it doesn't look like we do.
No, we don't have any comments for the items not on the agenda.
Okay, thank you. Item 4, do you have any presentations by local artists and or arts organizations?
We don't have any tonight.
Okay. We're going to transfer items areas 6 before 5 because one of our speakers is waiting in Europe somewhere to talk to us, and it's very late over there. So we're going to do that before we do our minutes. So, items, section number 6, action items, 6.1, Indio Second Gateway Project. And this is to select one artist from 10 applicants, 10 proposals who have been submitted for the Second Gateway Project.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Chairperson and members of the Arts Commission. Before you is item 6.1, which is Indio Second Gateway Project. The RFP went out on August 11. The deadline was September 26. We asked for a sculpture form combination of elements, existing or conceptual. And also the project budget is $125,000. The city has received 10 proposals. We go with the order that is on the screen, which is the first presenter is Casto Solano. And I believe he and his team, which includes 3 additional individuals, Adam Ireland, Andros, and Eros Solano, should be on the Zoom. Are they there, Ms. Smith?
Hi there. Hi, I don't know if you can hear me. This is Adam on behalf of Casto Solano.
Yeah, we can hear you, Adam.
Hi there. Hi, very, very good afternoon for you guys. Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for so kindly accommodating us and putting this item up at the front of the meeting. It makes an enormous difference. It's coming on for 3 a.m. here. So yeah, thank you. We really appreciate that.
You're young, Adam. You can take it.
There's days I still feel young. So I don't know if Casto's online as well. I hope he is. We're obviously not in the studio at the moment. If he's not, he'll join in a second. Am I good to just go ahead, or do you guys need to?
Yeah, and then Adam, also you can share your screen and basically drive the presentation at your end. If there is a problem, we have a copy so we can run it at our end. Will that work for you?
That will work just fine. Yeah,
Okay.
Thank you. So first of all, can I ask, we sent over a video presentation that shows views of the sculpture that Casto is proposing in 3 dimensions. I don't know if you've been able to see that or if I'd need to try and play that online now, or if you guys can do that in the room.
Our IT is trying to do that in our room. So give us like 20 seconds, please.
That's fine. Yeah, I'll check if Casto's managed to get online in the meantime.
Where are you located, Adam?
Well, we're in Spain, in the north of Spain, just a little south of Bilbao, in a city called Vitoria, which is where Casto is from. That's where his studio and workshops are. I'm away from the office at the moment down in Valencia, but the rest of the team are up in Vitoria.
Very good. Well, while we're waiting for the video to start, could you just verbally describe? Well, wait a second. I think maybe he doesn't have it yet. But until the video starts, could you verbally describe?
Oh, of course I can. Yeah. I'll just share. I'll see if I can share my screen, and that way I can get the presentation up on the screen. And I can take you guys through at least. Maybe it makes sense if I just take you through. I think the first requisite you guys had was to hear a bit about. Hi there.
Adam, the video, we can play it right now if you would like.
That would be amazing. Thank you so much. Yes.
All right. So our IT will play the video right now.
Thank you.
I guess the play needs to be, okay, there you go.
All right. Thank you so much for playing that there. It makes a big difference when it's not across Zoom, so you can actually see things with a bit of fidelity. I hope that gave you a few good views of the artwork that Casto's proposing and what it's like. As I was saying just before, I think your first requisite was to hear a little bit about Casto and his trajectory. Is that right?
Please.
Okay. So hopefully my screen sharing is still up. Have you still got that?
I think so.
I'll just check. That should be sharing now.
Yes, we see your presentation.
All right. Thank you. That's great. Casto's been sculpting for a good long while. He started for over 30 years now. He's been working as an active sculptor and artist, and his public artworks began a good 20 years ago, if not more. He started in Spain with a series of sort of smaller and more intimate and more figurative pieces in bronze. By sort of 2011, 2012, he'd moved on to really large-scale public artworks. This here is a piece from 2012, which is a gateway to a fishing port in Spain, a homage to the women fishing workers of the Basque communities. And he's gone from strength to strength since then. He's moved out to work predominantly in North America, in the US, in Canada, where we're going to be installing later on this year. This here is a piece that's just gone into Loch Nye in Antrim in Northern Ireland, which is a giant representation of a mythical figure. So you can see that Casto's work is based on expressive force. On the one hand, it's based on an organic form of sculpting, whereby everything is still hand worked to the greatest degree possible. So Casto really is involved in the nitty gritty of all of the sculpting, which is what allows him to produce pieces with as much detail as sculptures like the Giant. The other precept is interactivity and space, and allowing people to actually properly permeate the artworks and walk through them, get into contact with them, get up close and really enjoy them. This is a good example. This is a piece from a museum in Burgos. You can see how people are freely able to transit the artwork and circulate around it and participate in it. This is another sort of organic piece in France that went in last year. Again, which is for a roundabout, a gateway piece, again designed to be iconic and just sort of let the light through at the same time, let people and light circulate. This is a piece in Seattle that was made to sort of for the local communities to bind inner city communities together in central Seattle for the Center for All Races there. So whatever he's doing, it's organic, it's large scale, it's iconic, and it's again, this is a good example of the sort of last important piece of Casto's work, which is creating artworks that fit with the landscape, not just with the idea of community, but with, you know, where we've come from in terms of the geology, the ecology of where we are. So this is a giant series of wild grasses in Minnesota, in St. Paul. So hopefully that's good for a quick overview of Casto's work. And unless there's any questions there immediately, I'll move on in a second to chatting about the proposal that we're making. I might pause though to make sure to see whether Casto's actually managed to make it into the waiting room. He may have been having trouble with his connection here. I don't know if you guys have seen him try to connect, but it'd be worth checking quickly.
We are checking, Adam.
Thank you. I will check with him at the same time, see if I can get through.
It seems like he's not in the Zoom.
Okay, all right. I'll send a message through. And if not, then I'll move on to having a chat about his proposal and hope he comes in a minute. So this is a proposal that you've just seen in the video. So the idea of this is really to fill the space, this gateway artwork space for Indio with a really large scale and impressive sculpture. And at the same time, a piece that allows people to get right up close, to walk through it, to walk underneath it, to walk through a sort of a gateway arch, a portal arch to Indio. And you can see that this is based on really an extremely detailed sculptural design, a piece with ripples, a piece with that's hand worked, a piece that collects all of the light that's in the surrounds. There's big sky in Indio. There's a lot of life and color, and this artwork is made to reflect that. Not just in terms of the idea of Indio being, a festival city, a place that's been defined by, the amount of people who come to celebrate in a diverse array of festivals. Also the idea of growth in the desert, life in the desert, and water rising up from wells beneath the land and being used to populate the city with life. And a sort of a fundamental part of the concept of this is the idea of taking all of these elements and fusing them together in this arch that people really can, walk through and see their reflections in as they walk underneath it. The sort of second part of this proposal is the idea of actually taking the Whitewater River and sculpting its geography into the designs for this. So this is a piece that would be very physically tethered to the land, that would represent actual shapes from the geography of the terrain, the moving terrain in time that surrounds the city. As I was saying before, that's always something that's really important to Casto, is to get that rooted feeling in an artwork, to have it be something that really sits in the earth, that grows from it, that forms a part of its surrounds, not just architecturally or materially, but in terms of the real physical contours of the city. So this can be seen either as the river, as wells that are dug and shoot up from the ground, and also as a place where people, can come to meet, can come to find each other, can come to see the colors of the sky, the grass, the landscaping, the architecture themselves reflected back in the artwork. So yes, resuming an artwork that ties all of these elements of India together in a place that, creates a really optimistic artwork that opens up viewpoints and visual transits that allows people to circulate and enjoy the artwork. I hope that's a good and succinct explanation of the important precepts of this piece and what Casto wants it to signify and enable in the gateway space here where the artwork will stand. And this sort of symbiosis of city and community and geography and time. I'm not sure if there's going to be questions and answers. If so, maybe I should stop talking now and let people, ask any questions they'd like to, either, artistically or technically. I'll check back in quickly with Casto, see if he's got back to me, and see if he's able to come into the meeting. But yeah, I'd be delighted to answer any questions that you guys have.
Any questions?
I've got several that are technicals. Anyone have any before that?
Not yet.
Okay. What's the overall dimension you're proposing here?
Okay. So let me go down to the text section here. See if my okay. I think I still should be sharing. So it's a stainless steel piece. It's been posited by Casto to be a 6 meter, 19-foot-ish arch. Again, we want to look at that, in conjunction with yourselves and the rest of the teams on the project as we're developing the design. But for orientation, 6 meters, 19 feet.
Okay. And stainless steel, and then it's lit inside with, was it LED?
No, it wouldn't need to be lit inside. It'll be a solid. Well, I say solid. It'll be a steel sheet work that'll be conformed into this arch, and the lighting would be external for this.
Okay.
I won't have holes for light to shine out of, but it'll be polished to. And again, this is something that Casto likes to speak to the project teams about. It would be polished to near a mirror finish. That can be left a bit more muted or made more reflective, depending on the requirements, the environmental requirements, the aesthetic requirements of the space as we get deeper into that. But it would, with a couple of LEDs near or beneath the piece, that would light the whole surface up in a pretty spectacular fashion.
That's it for me.
When Adam, when you said 19-foot arch, are you speaking in height or total length? What is the span of the arch?
That is something that I'd better check with Casto before I give you a definitive answer on, just to make sure I don't get it wrong. If you like, I can pass that through to the chat in a second.
If you've generated like an elevation drawing with dimensions on it, that'd be helpful. If you don't, if you just describe that, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll send that on to the rest of the team, and we'll get an elevation drawing run up for you.
I was say, if you don't have one, if you're just able to figure, from end to end, it's this, the span across the ground is this, and the height is this. That's just the overall outside.
For sure. Yeah. I'm not sure exactly what width he's imagined. And I know again that's something that he likes to decide when he's got a better appreciation of the installation space and where it's going. And I know that for this project in particular, we've been aware of the fact that it's quite a large space, and that there's several different places and positions it could go in. And I know that, depending on which of those was chosen, depending on, how visible it wanted to be, depending on the details of pedestrian and vehicle transits near and around where it would be placed, it might be convenient to make it sort of slightly thinner and higher. It might be convenient to open it out and lower it. We've just finished installing a project that has some similar parameters in a sort of more restricted space in the UK, where we had to sort of, just sort of adapt the morphology of the piece slightly to make it, fit perfectly with the architecture. So, I know all of that stuff that we'd want to look at, and that will, that will make a difference to the span and versus the height, basically.
And you mentioned this is polished stainless.
That's right.
How much handwork does Casto do?
Casto does a lot of handwork. So some production, obviously this comes from conformed, sheets of stainless steel that are conformed, welded, have all of the welds, worked until they're invisible, that has all of the surfaces. The sculpture I showed you of the giant in Ireland is a good reference for that. That's all steel sheet work that's been completely crafted together. So, although there's, it comes from blocks of steel, it's an incredibly manual process, and Casto puts a lot of hours in, himself and the rest of the team at the studio. There's a lot of time goes into hand sculpting.
And is there a specific fabricator you like to use?
It's Casto. Casto is the fabricator.
He works with.
He's the man. Yeah, he's the man. There's several sort of the region where we are in Spain, in the Basque Country, is historically a sort of a big metalworking region. So there's quite a lot of really good, reliable workshops around here who know what they're doing. And depending on specific parts of the process, Casto might work with one or more of those at one stage or another to achieve a particular form or result. But the heart of the process, where the sculpture starts, where it always comes back to, is his workshop and his hands.
And another technical question: how is it going to be anchored into the earth?
That'll depend to a fair degree on what the ground surface is like. Assuming it's a solid surface is there, or will be provided, concrete foundations or sunken pillars or whatever the site, whatever fits the site, assuming it's a sort of good, hearty, solid surface. There's several different ways of doing it. It's likely that it would be that at each end of the artwork you'd have a solid steel base plate welded in and sort of conformed as part of the entire structure, with a series of perforation points to put threaded steel bars or expansion screws through to anchor it permanently, solidly into the concrete foundation. Again, that can depend a lot on the specifications of the ground, but the system would be something like that. There's quite a few different options that you can go into later on that, depending on whether it's and it often is extremely desirable to have the anchor points below the finished grade, so that there's no so that they're not showing, so that there's no trip hazards. Sometimes they can be internal to the artwork, other times they can be set outside its footprint. Again, all depending on what we want to achieve on site. But basically, that would be how it would work.
Assuming that this would be fabricated in Spain, would you foresee any problems in getting it here?
No, we've shipped an awful lot of pieces over to the US, over to Canada in the last few years, and even through the pandemic, things have moved, things have got there, and now things are pretty much back to normal. Everyone seems a little bit busier, but everything's good. No, we wouldn't foresee any problems. I don't know if we did a calendar. I don't know if you asked us for a production calendar for this. Yes, you did. So we count on sort of between 30 and 40 days for arrival, and we build that into our production schedules for the piece. And no, I wouldn't foresee any problems.
All right. Any other questions? Do you have any questions for us, Adam?
Not at the moment. No. I mean, I'm really sad that Casto hasn't been able to get his connection working, because I would have loved for him to be able to, say hi and greet you all. So I'm really sorry about that. I'll send on the elevation drawings you've asked for. I might send a message from Casto as well, if that's okay. If I'm sure he'll have a few questions of his own, or otherwise I'm sure he'll have input for you guys. But no, for myself right now, no questions.
Well, tell Casto if he has any questions, or if he has anything he would like to say as the artist, have a video made of him and send it to Layla, and she'll share it with us.
If that would be okay, that would be amazing. I will try. He's a rare beast. He's sometimes it's sometimes hard to get him on camera, but yeah, I'll do my best.
Throw him some red meat and sit him down and just tell him to speak.
I will. I managed not too many months ago, for just after his installation in Dallas. So clearly he's getting more amenable. So yeah, I think that's a lovely idea. And yeah, I'll send that on.
Well, we thank you for your time and your presentation.
Chairperson Shinsky, did you want to ask if Commissioner Gutierrez? I'm sorry.
I've been expecting him.
Okay.
Is he on? Noe, do you have any questions?
I'm here. Yes. One last question regarding the light. Because of the height, and if the light is up lighting, would there be a possibility to have lights coming down onto the structure given it's so close to a overpass, is that something that's considered at all or thought of?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's sort of the strength of the piece is that it's extremely accepting of lighting. And yes, you know, if you have the right structures nearby, then if there's a way to light, you know, directly across or down, then for sure, yeah, that would definitely be worth talking about.
Thank you, Adam.
All right, that's a pleasure.
Thank you, Adam.
All right, yeah, that's a pleasure, guys. Thank you so much for thank you so much for all of your questions and your kindly moving everything forward for us so that we can go and rest later on. And yeah, just a pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Go to bed.
Will do. Will do. Thanks, guys. I hope it goes well today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night.
All right, our next person is, Commissioner Becerra is also on.
On Zoom.
Yes, she's on Zoom. Did you? Okay, so we'll see you, and we make sure to invite both commissioners that they're on Zoom to ask questions. So the next artist is Nicole Beck. So I will see if Ms. Smith has her accepted into the Zoom meeting.
Should probably consider being a little more judicious with our time.
Hi, Nicole. So you have, as I said, there's 7 minutes for presentation, but if you go a little bit over, that's fine. And then commission will ask you questions. So you can share your screen and run your presentation at your end, or if you have problem, let us know. We can run it at our end. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Happy to be here. Honored to be here. And let's see what we've got here. Share.
There's a green button on the bottom of your screen. It says share screen in green, and there's an arrow on it. If you have problem, we can run it at our end. Would you like us to do it at our end?
So it's asking for preferences here. And I don't think you want me to take the time to set up preferences on my computer.
Yeah, we are running it at our end. We got it.
Okay. So shall I be telling you when
Yes,
to
please.
progress? Okay.
Yes, please.
All right.
So the presentation is on.
Okay. The first slide, I am showing you a couple pieces that were site-specific sculptures for suburbs outside of Chicago. The left one, Spintronic, is a 15-foot piece that's situated over the Fox River, which is a very important tributary and in the Chicago area, in the city of Batavia. And the piece is based on the concept of spintronics, and the Fermilab generator is in that town. So this is representing cutting edge technology with electron flows. My work incorporates science and ecological concepts and things of that sort. And my specialty is working in 316 steel, the same as the prior artist. The steel is, requires no maintenance over the life of the piece, which is the longest. And dichroic, the glass that I use is custom laminated by a fabricator out of Florida. And it is, it's custom laminated for outdoor use and is extremely durable and will not have any fading or anything. So the dichroic film is laminated in between two pieces of glass. I like to use one textured side and one clear side so that the glass has different effects on either side. And the clear side presents a mirror effect so that the pieces beg interaction by the public, and the colors shift dramatically as you move around the work. It's called dichroic glass, which means two colors, but inherent in the film is a whole spectrum, a whole diversity of colors. So they're extremely vibrant, they're very engaging to the public. They're kind of like a piece that begs, selfies and interaction and things of that sort. The left piece was incorporated with cast seating. And so, you can sit on the river there. And there's also a highway that goes across that bridge. So it gets a lot of, it's in downtown, so it gets a lot of pedestrian traffic as well as car traffic. The piece on the right was made for Elmhurst, Illinois, which is a major suburb of Chicago. And the concept is Portal. It's a beautiful gathering space where all the local residents like to bring their dogs. And and it was important to elevate the piece for that reason, if you catch my drift. So I worked with the city in placement of this piece and in designing the piece. One of the Chicago Harry Who was on the committee there. I worked a lot with the city and the planning commission on developing this piece. And so it's representative of the diversity of the city. It was made in a circle on purpose to, represent, life itself. The stone is Indiana limestone, and it was dedicated by a local contractor. And he paid for the piece. So there was a lot of interaction with the public. The opening was awesome. A couple hundred people showed up. So next slide, please. This piece, if you could start the video on the right. If you hover your cursor over the bottom of this, yeah, it'll start the video. And I don't know why it's not, it says QuickTime not available. Anyway, if you can get that going there, I don't know. The piece, the video demonstrates the shifting of the color in the dichroic glass. On the left is typical of the computer renders that I'll generate for a piece. And then the right would have shown shown the final work. So in my renders, you get, what I propose. And also in specific dimensions, not nebulous ideas. Yeah. I guess since the video won't go, we will go to the next image. That piece was done for Juniata College in Huntington, Pennsylvania. So next slide, please. All right. These show the shifting of the glass and how dynamic it is. And the two left pictures, the one second to the right shows how the color shifted from the left side to the right side. You can see the shapes. So, I mean, it's going from this lime green to the yellow, to the orange, to the red. I know that I really like the logo of your city, and I can specify the dichroic to play up on those colors specifically, if you would like that. The piece on the left is from Amplifiers, a $250,000 commission for the University of Illinois Urbana's College of Electrical and Computer Engineering, and is a signature piece in front of the main window where all the students gather and plug in their computers and do their work. The ECE is top 10 electrical and computer engineering schools in the world. So this piece was quite a coup for me. The right side has Spintronic again. Next slide. And this is the piece. Now, LEDs were embedded on the inside of these structures. They're 18 foot tall. The two structures are combined 12 feet wide, 6 feet deep. The bottom plinths are truncated tripods. And these shapes are the exact pulse of an LED light. And the professor that invented the LED taught at this school his whole entire life. So it was important that the piece represent the school itself. His professor that brought him there is John Bardeen, who invented the transmitter. So a transistor, I mean, so for computers. And so I meant to sort of have these two structures that would represent them as collaborators. The school is also well known for collaboration. So, my pieces are meant to be site specific and represent, the history of the site and the people there. The left side shows there were LEDs internal to these structures. And I worked with a student there that was recommended to me to program the lighting in that. Next. And then there's a YouTube video that you can access there if you wanted. There's a 6-minute documentary about the making of this piece that I would recommend that you watch later if you would like to. Next slide. This is a real quick video of the piece. With the pulsing LEDs, students on the inside. You can see the shifting of the glass. with the LEDs is that it has a life at nighttime, and then the glass has a life during the day. Okay, next slide, please. The right side shows the work and me with it. And so that shows the scale of the piece. The middle work is a sculpture that I did earlier in my career. I've been sculpting for over 20 years, and I do most of the work myself, although I hired a very exceptionally well-known fabricator to assist with amplifiers, because it's such a large piece that it would, wouldn't fit in my studio. And they're experts at building these types of things. So I work with them a lot. The middle piece I built entirely myself. That's 20 feet tall, 8 feet wide, and it represents a plant form. The top left shows the glass in the exact dimension and with the stainless steel gaskets that will be used on the piece I'm proposing for Indio. So you can get a good idea of the different glass that would be inserted into your piece. The bottom left piece here is one that I just finished this year, and it's in Boys Town in Chicago on Halsted Street in Lakeview, near where the Cubs play. So next slide. This is just a proposal that I'm very much interested in taking on this piece for Indio. Usually my works are largely based on explorations of concepts in science and nature, but I'm also, I want the piece to be your piece. So in my mind, it's very important to collaborate with you all and all invested partners. If there's any, people that are helping with the funding on this, or community stakeholders, I would be very much interested in talking with them. The stainless, of course, is the best, extremely durable, no maintenance. The glass once in a while can use some Rain-X. Maybe some folks here know what that is. You just put that on your car windshield and it beads up the water. So every once in a while that might want to be done, but it's not necessary. So my intent with the piece is that to activate the space and bring interest and energy to it with color. Okay, next slide. This is one of the proposals, and actually it's meant to sort of, all my work, as you can see, is abstract. So it has more universal interpretation. And but I was thinking of it sort of as a modern interpretation of a Cahuilla Aztec woven basket. And to them, the four points of a design are important. So it has 4 entries into the piece. It's meant to be walked inside of. The glass will be contained inside gaskets. So, I mean, and it will be like, supremely welded. If anybody wanted to climb it, they could. I generally don't recommend climbing sculptures, but they do get climbed anyway, so the piece would be exceptionally well made. And you can see that there are LEDs that will be embedded in the concrete underneath. So it would have like a 4 or 6 inch, whatever the engineering code is for the city, 4 or 6 inch concrete plinth, and then with flush mount LEDs. Now you could get those just in white, or you could also do them in RGB LED programming, and at night cast some rotating color in the piece as well. It's called Indio Piece Array. And it's scaled that size, 10-foot height, 15 by 15 diameter, for shipping. If I go higher than that, then you're considering step down, transit, so which is more cost. And I'm very detailed with cost and accounting and things like that. So I try to be real specific about those things.
Nicole,
Okay, yeah.
we're on a time budget on this meeting because we have a lot of people to present. So I'm going to ask the rest of the commissioners if they have any questions for you.
I'm good. I see the process. I see the work. I was curious about the size. We got that information, so I'm good myself.
Noe or Vanessa?
No questions here. All good. Thank you.
Yeah, no questions. Thank you.
I apologize for interrupting you, Nicole, but yeah, we're a crowded agenda tonight.
Yeah, you've got a lot of finalists, which is really not typical. So God bless you guys. You got your hands full tonight. So yeah, the piece you can see here has been it's taller and less wide dimensions, or the piece here can be more of a gateway, and that would be a larger scale piece. Yeah, if you want to review it later, I also proposed this with that seating element. I don't want to give you too many ideas, but yeah, it's all there if you want to have to review everything.
Well, I'm sure that we're going to review. So if we do have questions, we'll get back to you.
Yeah, I don't have any questions. I mean, the process is very much dependent on stakeholders' input. So the questions will be forthcoming should I be chosen, and a lot of interaction. I'm a communicator, so that's important.
Very good. Well, we thank you for your time and your proposal.
Okay, my pleasure.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you very much. All right, so our next presenter artist is Peter Hazel, which is number 3 on the list. So I will wait till Ms. Smith tell me if he's in or not.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Hi, Peter. So you can share your presentation at your end, or we can do it at our end, whichever you would like or prefer. And then also you have 7 minutes to present. So please be mindful of that. Otherwise, our chairperson will cut you off.
The chairperson will interrupt you, Peter.
All right, thank you. Did you want us to run it, or you can run it at your end?
What do you want to do?
Can't figure out how to run it.
Why don't you go ahead and run it?
Okay, so we'll do it. Our IT will start presentation number 3. There we go. That's it. Thank you. And then please let me know when you would like me to change the slide. All right, the presentation is on, Peter, so you
Okay.
can start.
All right. Well, let's see. Let me tell you about myself. I'm a ex-tile and granite contractor. I've been a contractor up in Lake Tahoe for close to 30 years. So I know my way around tile. A trip to Barcelona changed my life. I came back and I started doing mosaics. Right here, the horse and the dog. That was a commission in Las Vegas, and they're all mosaic. So what we do, I do a little twist. We make our own ceramics here. So I have a pretty large crew here, close to 8 employees, and so I got the girls making the mosaics, and then I sculpt and shape them, and we install them. So the turtle is something like that. And then you see the butterflies over there. I also work with glass and steel. The butterflies are actually a piece that's at Rosalind Carter's house where she grew up. So I did a piece for Jimmy Carter and Rosalind Carter, and I like to add glass. So that's one of the reasons. And then these sunflowers, those were at Burning Man. So I'm a pretty big Burning Man artist, but I don't want to be defined as a Burning Man artist. But I live here in Reno, and so it's close and it's easy, and we actually get a lot of press. You do something big and nice, it goes a long way. So that's what those three are. All right. So then, we studied your area and we thought a desert tortoise would be pretty cool to do. And there's a real one right there. And so my idea was to do a mosaic tortoise with bits of glass and LEDs in it. So the LEDs is kind of where art's going. So you get a great piece at night, and also in the daytime. So there's a desert tortoise. We did the best we could with the computer rendering, but you'll see that crocodile there. So my idea was to do the desert tortoise very similar to the crocodile. So those are all handmade tiles. So the mosaics I do, we make all the ceramics here. So this gives me any shape, any colors, any size. And my idea was, you see the smaller tiles where his head and neck would be similar to the crocodile's body. And then I wanted to do rectangular tiles on his back. And I thought it would be really neat if we could add glass to it, like 2 layers. Let's say you take a segment in his back and you go 2 layers of ceramic and then a layer of glass, and then another couple of layers of ceramic, another layer of glass, and light them up with LEDs. So all my projects now that we take to Burning Man, or some of the projects, we light them up. We did with Carter's tree, and all the crocodile, his teeth light up, his eyes light up, and his little the spine in his back light up as well. All right, there's the crocodile. So you're gonna have to imagine a tortoise similar to this crocodile, with the same color pattern. I like that. Or we could do something fun with orange, like the fish over here. We could change it up and make it really colorful. So I've known all my artists like happy art. It's really colorful art, and everybody connects to it. So we have variations of color that we can work with. Okay. That's the budget. So all my artwork that I do for cities, we get it engineered. I have a structural engineer. We pull a permit, we get the insurance, and it's not my first rodeo. So, and also being a tile and granite contractor, I realize deadlines, and when something has to get done, it gets done.
Yeah, I think that was the last slide for Peter.
So in my public art world, I noticed that a lot of cities might be a little nervous about a ceramic or mosaic. They're afraid it might break or what have you. And I'm going to take you into my shop, and I'm going to show you. We're presently working on a big octopus, and it's going to be about 20 feet long, similar to the tortoise that we're thinking about. Anyway, come walk this way, and then you get a little snippet of my shop.
Thank you, Peter.
Can you see, can
yeah.
you see him?
Here we are. I just want to show you the durability here. Okay, so this is the octopus we're making here. And you can see that the structure's rebar down below. Yeah, so we got rebar here, metal lath, and this really super durable mortar here. And then all the handmade tiles that we did, and we glue them to the substrate here. So, you want to see how durable this is? Anyway, that just gives you an idea, because a lot of people don't realize that if you have the right backing, it's not going to fail. So, there you go. So we'll go back to my office, and then if you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer. Or you can ask now.
Any questions?
Peter, what dimensions were you proposing the height?
I was thinking like 25 feet,
High?
25 foot.
Or 25
Yeah.
feet long?
Yeah, 25 foot. Yeah, 25. And I'm not a stranger to doing big projects. As a matter of fact, I did a jellyfish that was 4 stories tall,
How high?
40 feet tall.
25 feet tall?
So that, you know, this, we could make them, you know, we would make them, you know, we'd scale it out. So it would be roughly about 8 foot tall. And the other thing that I've done in the past, which is kind of fun, is that
Peter,
yeah.
can I need to, there's some confusion on our end. When we're talking dimensions, your presentation said that the tortoise would be 20 feet. Is that length or height?
20 foot length.
Okay.
Length and height?
It'd be about 6 to 8 foot tall.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
I was like, wait, what?
A bunch of 25 feet tall. Let's see.
Any other comments or questions from commission members?
I just had a question. So you do a rebar structure with lath over that?
Yes, exactly. I've
Okay.
also done foam. We've done them in foam and with structural steel involved. It depends on, you know, our best outcome.
And it ships well if you're fabricating in your shop?
Oh yeah, it's yeah, I got a line of semis here. So, like I said, I'm no stranger to installing big art.
And you have a wide palette variety that could be used on your tiles?
Oh yeah, it's like we custom make them. So that's always
You can
kind
do
of
anything you want.
Pardon me?
You can do anything you want.
Yeah, any shape, any size, any color. I started out doing mosaics with nippers and cutting each piece, and it was really time consuming. And then I found out, you know, if we make our own tile, that we could do anything we want. And actually installation's a little quicker and it speeds things up. And we don't have any sharp edges where someone could get cut.
Right.
And then I use a epoxy grout, so it'll hold up to the weather, no problem down there.
Noe or Vanessa, any questions?
No, thank you.
Okay.
No, thank you.
I love the hammer demonstration. That was great.
Well, you notice it was a mallet, not a hammer. I think a real steel hammer would break it, but it's still, it people don't realize. So I just do a little demonstration.
Oh, I appreciated it. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Peter, for your proposal and your time.
Thank
Got
you,
it.
Peter.
You guys take care. See ya.
So our fourth presenter is Andrew, and he's. I would like to know if he's on. He is number 4 on the list. His last name is Andrew, first name Sreely. There we go. All right, good evening. And you have about 7 minutes. We can run your presentation at our end, or you can do it by sharing your screen, whichever you prefer. You're muted, I believe. We cannot hear you.
Okay, now it's better. Hi, everybody. If you can, I prefer you pass.
Okay, we will run it here. So it will be presentation number 4. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So the presentation is on, and when you would like me to change the slide, please let me know.
Yes, please. You can slide again. Yes, there is a big scale. You can slide slowly, but there is. Okay. Please slide again, please. Okay, please you stop. And just I would like to say that my sculptures are figurative. They represent characters, often accompanied by animals. I am interested in the human and in what remains of our origins and the animal parts still lives in us. I've made many permanent sculptures installed outdoors in public space, and I am therefore used to managing the technical and logistical constraints to create resistant, durable sculpture without maintenance and without danger for visitors. I'm sorry, my English is very bad, but I try to do it. So my project will represent a character firmly anchored on his legs and carrying in his arms a pile of disproportionate rocks. This extraordinary physical performance pays tribute to the builders and economic actors of yesterday and today who have enabled the city of Indio to rise from the ground and become what it is today. Also, the character morphology is rather masculine. The work will represent the man with a capital H. The sculpture will be carved in a game of facets by going to the essential of the form without constraining itself to academic accuracy and anatomical details. Could you show the slide of the project, please? You saw before this option, and I would like to present you another option after this one. Could you slide, please? Thank you. That's the back. That's all in the bronze. Slide again, please. Right, you saw it before. that detail of materials. I carved in wood, and after it's mold and replaced in bronze. Here there is two sort of bronze: the black patinaed bronze and the polished varnished bronze. Can you slide more? Here is a new option with a character more dynamic and more rocks on these arms. I think it could be more physically in the sorry, in this I don't find my word. Can you slide, please? Again, please. Yes, again. Here you can see what it could be. I would like to do it with bronze too. You know, bronze is a material really permanent and without any, sorry. It's unalterable and without no maintenance.
So you said you're using bronze and it is very permanent and doesn't need a lot of maintenance, correct?
Yes, thank you, yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you. Would you like me to go to the next slide?
Yes, please. Here I explain you the stability with a big concrete basis, and after you can see the budget. Can you slide, please? Bronze is very expensive, but my technique should be do it in bronze too. Can you come back in the project slides, please? Yes, thanks. The height will be about 14.76 feet. I chose to put it in the corner, but we can move it. It is better for electricity or everything like that.
So this piece in bronze will have color or no?
No, I would like to make it like the same one you saw before.
Okay, got it.
The personage in black and the rocks in varnished, in polish and varnished.
Got it, perfect. Anything else you would like to add?
No, I think my English is too bad for that, but
No, you're
if you have
good,
any
you're good.
question, I will try to do it.
Your English is much better than our ability to speak your language, so
Thank
do
you.
not apologize. Do we have any questions, Commission? No, Vanessa?
None. Thank you.
No question. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Ed. Yeah, good work. Where do you live?
I live in France, but now I am in artistic residency in Morocco.
So you speak French?
Yes. Oui,
Enchanté.
je suis français.
Great, but I just know enchanté.
Thank you. Me too. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So our next artist presenter is Jani Sound, and she's number 5 on our list. So I would like to know if she's there, and we can start her presentation.
Yes.
Thank you.
Is she there? I thought it was a she.
How about that?
Oh,
Hi, I believe you're Christopher,
He is not a she.
but where is Jani?
Oh, no. Christopher Janney is the artist.
Oh my God, I thought you guys are 2 different people, so I apologize.
It's okay.
Let's go ahead. So
as-
we can
Yeah.
we can run your presentation at
Yeah.
our end. Would you like to?
Play it from your side.
Okay, so presentation number 5, please.
Okie dokie. First slide.
So it is on and we see,
That's
There we
correct. Okay, very good. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for inviting me. A little background here. I'm trained as an architect and a jazz musician, so a lot of my work tries to involve visual elements of music. I think this quote at the top is one of my favorites. Rhythm is to intuition, emotion, and aesthetics what scientific order and logic are to the intellect. One of the essential qualities of rhythm, if not the essential quality, is its power of conveying the presence of light. So my work is really about, in this particular case, particularly is about a visual music, trying to express certain things that I feel visually and rhythmically in a visual medium. So next picture, I'll show you a couple examples of past work. This here is a piece called Harmonic Convergence in the Miami International Airport. Commission was to do this entire wall. And of course, you know, the beautiful light of South Florida, taking advantage of that, letting the shadows just bathe the entire space. Next slide, please. Okay, this is a little farther up the coast, also in Florida, called shadow boxing. But again, playing a lot with transparent colored glass and colored shadows. So I'm very interested in the transparency of color in glass forms as well as the shadows that they cast. And the third piece, next slide, please. Okay, this is called Lightwaves Orlando. These are 4 50-foot fins, as it were, on the side of the Orlando Public Library. Again, playing at an architectural scale and also then using the sun as my light source in the day. These also are illuminated at night with LED lighting that's in the actual column that the glass is attached to. Okay, next slide. Okay, so I think I was present in your last meeting just as an observer, so I believe you're familiar with the concept here that I was proposing. Essentially, again, this idea of visual music, visual rhythms, and trying to make a strong, iconic form that would be on the corner, essentially, where you have proposed for the site. The nice thing about this particular form is that as you drive by it or walk by it, it actually will change, will seem to change its shape. Certain parts of the transparent glass will overlap with one another. I think that, I'm most interested to create an urban landmark here that could be 40 feet tall. I think the idea for me is to make a most strong, iconic form that would be then identified with the city of Indio. The physical materials here would be a laminated, transparent, colored structural glass. There would also be LED lighting in the column that would light these slats at night. They would also produce obviously bright colors and shadows throughout the day, and at night with the LED lighting, it would look very different. This particular sketch shows just a single color to try to highlight the transparency and what happens when different glass overlaps one another. But I would also see, in consultation with members of the community, to actually add different layers of color into the piece. You also see there in the upper right a sketch that I had made where we might have seating around the base of the piece. The next slide, I believe I talked specifically about some issues you referred to. There we go. Right. So regarding this, how I came up with the concept and my interest in creating a unique icon that could be identified with the city, the idea is to create an abstract landmark, a strong visual form that is identified with the community. You also asked about the form appearing to change as a person or vehicle moves by, creating this kinetic quality in the artwork. The transparent glass will create interesting patterns throughout the day and the night. And I've already talked about how the final color might not just be this blue, but could be other colors. I like to work together with members of the community in both citing the piece and actually refining its physical form. There may be a situation where we don't want it so close to the ground, so it would start higher up on the column and not be able to be reached by human hand. I've talked about regarding the light and approaches to the human usage of the site. The iconic form will become a place of destination for the community and for tourists, friends, and families. To that end, as shown in the upper right corner, I've talked about the seating area that would allow people to just sit and meditate with the piece. Next image, please. And you asked about the budget and also a timetable. So I broke it out here into the various phases of design, fabrication, and installation, and an estimated time of what the timetable would be. So maybe if we go back one slide, because I think that's, there we go. And if you have some questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions, Commission?
No,
No, we?
Very good.
no,
Vanessa?
none.
No, none here. Thank you.
I have a question, may I?
Sure.
So the pieces, the blue pieces that they look translucent,
Transparent.
what material they're made of?
That's transparent, that's laminated transparent glass, which actually would be manufactured at Glass Pro in Santa Fe Springs, California, where the rest of the piece within would be fabricated within the Los Angeles area. The piece that I showed you in the Miami airport, that's a triple laminated missile-proof glass. So lamination is very strong and very, very solid.
So it is durable and won't be break by, people throwing,
No.
okay.
If I had a mallet, I would hit it.
All right. All right, thank you.
The theme.
I like that.
I thank my previous artist for doing the demonstration.
Now, I may be seeing this because I want to see it, but the shape of your proposed piece is like an abstraction of a palm tree. Is that right?
whatever you think it looks like is what it is.
Supposed to be that way?
No, it's definitely taken off the theme of a palm tree. There are other forms in nature, but that's certainly a strength that relates to this area.
And who in Santa Fe Springs did you say?
Glass Pro is my major fabricator for all my works around the world. They are one of the top fabricators of what's called the Vanceva system. I have a palette of over 2,000 colors that I can choose from that is now controlled by Eastman Chemical. And Glass Pro is one of the principal fabricators in the United States. I've worked with them since for the last 30 years, actually. They did the original piece in 1997 that I had in the Miami airport.
Now, your slats of glass, are they, obviously they're horizontal, but are they flat or are they curved? Is there?
No, it's very thin. It's a flat two-dimensional slat of glass. And as it rotates around, as it goes up the column, it makes a very nice virtual three-dimensional form.
Okay. So it's just all flat shape.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Correct.
Any other questions or comments? Well, the next time next time we see you, you better have a mallet in your hand.
Or a missile. I can do a missile for you if you like.
All right. That's all right. Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, so our next artist presenter is Patrick Sullivan, and I believe he's here, isn't he? Yeah, so your turn, sir. And may I get the presentation number 6, please? Thank you.
Unfortunately, I forgot my mallet.
Here, I've got one. You want to borrow it?
But I can assure you the piece that I proposed, hammered barely down.
Good. That's what we want to hear.
Most of my public art that I've created in the last 40 years, 3 different countries, is virtually been vandalism free. A little bit of graffiti here or there, a little bit of initials on the
Always. Yeah, unfortunately.
So what I'd like to do, proposing sculpture that would help create a people park. For Indio. Gateway. Through the middle. A gateway to a beautiful city of festivals. And as you can see, the name of the city would be carved on the side facing the street, with the Indio city colors very prominently displayed. On this side here, the limestone model, I like to carve some relief work with inscript the city of festivals, with all the different festivals that the city has sponsored over the years carved in the stone. So visitors and people that live here can see that and enjoy what the city has accomplished over the years. So that's part of my concept. Be about 10 feet high. It could either be done on site here in Indio, like a festival kind of atmosphere. I know in the last 3 years, I've done a lot of public art projects on site in different communities where I've worked. They're very successful projects. They get the public involved. There's a guest book here that goes back over 32 years, the signatures of people that have watched me work on sculpture for their community. I like to let the committee maybe just browse through that. There's over several thousand names in that book, going back to 1986, where I completed a park of stone sculpture in Canada, community of Coquitlam, Blue Mountain Park, on-site 2-year project. There's 14 pieces of stone sculpture there, and they're still there. There is a little bit of initial carving on them and a little bit of, scratches here and there, but the people still love them. And I'm sure that the folks in Indio will love these pieces too. We have some color features. The eyes would be either ceramic or possibly glass. And of course, the name of Indio would be if the committee, in conjunction with the committee, wants the colors of the city painted on the stone, that can be done. My work is completely done by hand using machines and grinders, polishing equipment. Most of my work is done by hand. These pieces are carved by hand. I like people to touch the work, to feel part of it, and enjoy the three-dimensional aspect. In this case, because we've got 2 models, you have the double three-dimensional aspect of that. And picnic tables, possibly some seating features can be added. They reflect a multicultural aspect of society. They have Native American features. They have Art Deco. They have kind of Mayan sort of things, and they have the Irish never-ending loop, everlasting life. It's part of it too. And of course, the overall flavor of the sculpture is actually very Spanish. The love for life. It has that feel to it, because the Spanish cherish work by hand. So they come out of the earth, and they're completely environmentally friendly works. There's no negative pollution caused by the creation of these sculptures. And they'd sit on cement bases. Of course, probably a structural engineer would, need to be hired to make sure they're earthquake proof. So I've done all this before in past projects. These particular pieces are part of the Last Love public art series and honors my wife of 17 years, and started the first 5 Last Love public art works are in Whistler, BC, Canada. Number 6 is in Vandalia, Ohio, where I was selected as one of the 5 top stone sculptors in America in 2010. And I created Last Love 6. Last Love 7 is in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 2014, where I won a public art competition there. And we incorporated the city traffic engineering signs. They wanted a traffic light on it. So I put a traffic light on part of the sculpture. And then they wanted to honor Ike Eisenhower for his work on the interstate system, as well as Thomas Avery, who created Route 66. And the fellow that invented the yield symbol is from Tulsa, Oklahoma. So we all worked together, and I managed to fit all that into the sculpture, just like I would with these pieces here. I'd work in conjunction with the committee and the planner to come up with something that Indio would be very proud of and would last well over 1,000 years, virtually maintenance free.
Did you say limestone?
Well, these pieces are Texas limestone. That's what I use for my models. The actual sculptures would be an Indiana limestone, roughly 10 feet high, 10 to 11 feet high, by 4 foot by 4 foot. And they'd be more like, say, the color of the images on the right-hand side. They're
gray Indiana limestone.
Yeah. You can get gray, you can get brown. There's even some Indiana limestone with blue grain to it. Yeah. Of course, the Empire State Building was built out of many iconic American buildings have been created with Indiana limestone. It's an American institution. It weathers incredibly well, and it's a perfect stone to carve by hand. So it's all American. But in this case, yeah, the Last Love series would probably be called, this piece would be called the the Gateway Public Art, Indio California Gateway Public Art Project. It wouldn't necessarily have to be called Last Love 9 and 10, although I'm sure my wife would like that. But
when they're together, and there is reminiscence of the kiss.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And you got the male female elements. I forgot to mention that in the piece. There's on all sides you've got male female elements, which brings in the family element of the community. And everybody has had some kind of experience with love, whether negative or positive, I'm sure, in their lifetime. So all people can relate to that. It's a tremendous space. I don't know if you recall, but I was here 4 years ago. I was a finalist in the First Responders Public Art Project. And, I was very proud to be involved. So I found my way around here pretty well, and deja vu. So, and it's at the same site that project was intended for too. So, yeah, at a distance, it'll project very well. Lighting, we can work. I assume the city wants to provide some lighting, and it's pretty simple, though. It won't be, an enormous cost to put any lighting in. So, it'll be from the ground probably. So, yeah, great to be here again.
Good to have you.
So we have, I could do it on site in Indio, possibly even right next to the park down there where, where you pull in, there might be some space. Or I can do it at my studio facilities in St. George, Utah. I have some facilities there to load your work. So it could go either way. The site projects are pretty interesting. It gets the whole community involved. There's usually a lot of PR, a lot of newspaper coverage. I've had videos done on my work in Vandalia and Tulsa. And there's no posse waiting for me there. So I guess I did a pretty good job. So yeah, there are some letters of reference that I included in my submission. I don't want to take up too much more of your valuable time. Do we have any questions or
commission? No, Vanessa.
None. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, I just have a couple of comments. And this is going to be blasphemy for some people. But if indeed you got this commission, I would not want to see the name of Indio on it or any of the events that happen here. Because that takes it from the realm of sculpture to the realm of billboard. And I'm always looking for a good piece of sculpture, not an advertisement.
That's fine.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm the lone voice or not, but that's how I feel.
I agree to that point too. No signage.
No signage.
Okay.
That was early on when we talked about our entry
Yep.
monuments, is we are not creating signs. We're
Okay.
creating it's
No,
ours.
that's better for me.
And I think the piece
Yeah.
speaks for itself without
Yeah.
having to put the name of the city on it.
Yeah, okay, well, that's fine. It was just a suggestion, but that's fine. We can add, I forgot, we can add plaques, stone plaques,
Or
honor the contributors and talk about the history if you want.
not necessarily.
I would just have to have your name on it.
Yeah. The piece will speak for itself.
Yeah, they sure will. They always have.
I mean, if you got this commission and you ended up calling it, what is it?
Last love.
Left Love 9 and 10.
Yeah,
The reason is because of my wife.
that's right.
So
Yeah.
that's all people need to know.
I went through Lost Love when I was younger.
Haven't
So,
we all?
I don't
go
want to
through
remember that
monthly.
one.
And if you got this commission, I've got the art center right next door with a big area in the back. You could carve at.
If that's what the commission would like me to do, I'd be honored to do that.
So,
I love working with the public.
and the public loves to watch an artist work.
They sure do. And those chips are flying in
Yeah.
that comment book.
And I know a stone carver here in the valley that would probably love to help you.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's no problem. Yeah, it's mostly carved by hand. And
Yeah.
the public gets involved. Here's one of my pieces from Blue Mountain Park called Progress. When the public gets involved, they love their artwork a lot more.
Yeah. Well, they take ownership.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an awesome site down there, and you could turn it into a real nice situation for people. For sure.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peter.
Patrick.
I'm sorry, Patrick. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Okay, we have number 7, Armin Isaryan. Please let me know if he's on.
I do not see that name.
Okay, that's fine. We can move on to Oleg Lobkin or Lobikin, number 8.
He is present.
Great. So he's present and he is presentation number 8.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Would you like, you need to talk a little bit louder, I believe.
Okay. I just don't see the images, so that's why I'm not sure if you connected. But if you can hear me, I would like you to run the presentation. And first of all, thank you very much, everybody, for a chance
Presentation number 8.
to introduce you to my work. Oh, now I see. I need to start video, right? No?
Okay, Oleg, you still need to talk a little bit louder. Maybe come closer to your microphone. Sorry about that.
Hi, can you hear me? Is this
Yeah,
better?
perfect.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you for your time and thank you for a chance to present my work to you. And here we go. This is the first slide, and the work which one I would like to propose, it goes under the title Particles. Next slide, please. This is some of my previous works, and just to keep on track, I will try to read it and we will save time on it. My career as a professional artist includes a wide range of experience implementing collaborative projects. My experience over 3 decades includes a range of private and public art projects for La Brea Apartments in Los Angeles, Stanford University, Edgewood Resort at Lake Tahoe, and Cathedral Church, St. John the Divine in New York City, among many others. Next slide. Here's a couple of my projects. One of them done in Carrara marble, another one in stainless steel. I have created artwork working in conjunction with multiple municipalities and communities during my career. Some examples include New York City, San Francisco, Huntington Beach, Los Angeles, Seattle, Newport Beach, East Palo Alto. That's where I live right now. Reno, I have some work in Japan. I have participated in public processes and engaged stakeholders in design and development of sculptures for public spaces via public meetings, site visits, close informal collaboration with partners. I have experience working with both governmental and private organizations, including engineers, safety experts, architects, and designers. Why is this idea? Particles are nature's basic building blocks. Something we don't really see, but we know it exists. Enlarging something so small to see show us how new combinations of familiar things can create a sense of discovery and surprise. Children are natural artists and let their creativity guide them. We all can do more of that. Reflective surfaces allow for expansiveness and sense of welcome to whether new or familiar, to provide a different point of view. Yeah, next slide, please. I offer freestanding sculpture, abstract, 12 feet high with a footprint approximately 6 feet by 5 feet. Actually, it's a 6 by 5.5. Fabricated in stainless steel 316 with high chromium content and highly mirror polished. Strong and durable, low maintenance material. The sculpture can be placed right in the middle of the field or on the north side, close to the edge of the area. Timeline 5-6 months to completion. Budget all known to all of us, and it's all inclusive. I didn't break it down, but basically, yes, I can guarantee I can meet your restrictions or your budget. Now I'm ready for your questions if you have any.
Anyone have any questions?
No, no questions.
No questions. Thank you.
I can't think of anything to ask myself. Surprising, isn't it?
Well, here's a piece I can show just a model how it might look. I will turn it slowly around and you might see how it might look if observer will look around the piece. That's actually pretty much exact model of the piece. It is also in stainless steel.
Yeah. Is your inspiration for your work like microscopic shapes?
Not really, because actually the work I do, I don't really even use any references, visual references from internet or somewhere else. Usually just kind of everything from my mind and by imagination. But at the same time, I do see connection, which one you mentioned, because also some other people, they also see this or that. And absolutely fine, I see it by myself too. But at the same time, for me, it's just abstract work, and it's art for the sake of art.
And yeah, your La Brea Park piece was very appropriate. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, I can tell a little bit more about that project. That was a little bit unusual project. Basically, I was approached by landscape architects from Berkeley, and they were working on that park. It's a small, completely round circle park, and they had a spiral which one will lay down from the palm trees. And right in the middle, they wanted to have a playground. And actually, they came up with this very attractive concept. They wanted to have some kind of a abstract looking petrified wood structures, just a few of them, which one would continue the line of palms and could be also used as playground pieces for kids. And they even actually provided some sketches, and some of them actually they even didn't work at all in 3D. And I realized who was doing the sketches, actually they didn't take it in account. But anyway, working on this back and forth, and client wasn't sure, I wasn't sure. But after I visited the site, because they have the Page Museum right by the tar pits, and they have a lot of exhibits over there, including saber-toothed cat skeleton, which one when I saw, I knew right away what I want to do. I knew the scale because I wanted to use skeleton like a structure so kids can go between the ribs, through the eye sockets, between the fangs, climb on it, and everything would be safe. Specific on this project was involved also safety expert who did teach me some things and what I need to watch for when I'm doing playgrounds. And I still remember those things. It should be soft ground, number one, and they shouldn't have any sharp pieces, number two. And the strange thing which one I found for myself, I did not know about it. Playgrounds they do not have limits regarding height of the structure. That's about it. That's how we made it. So when I show, actually, I did some sketches, I did the model, and it was presented to the landscape architects and client. They like it. Only one concern was like, what about kids? Will they, are they going to be scared by this structure, by this skeleton or not? But after it was installed and we saw how kids responded, how they climb on it and how they played with this, we knew. No, they were not scared. They actually provide them curiosity, discovery, sense, and also ability to climb.
It takes a lot to scare kids these days.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, sir, for a proposal and the time you spent with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, our number 9 artist presenter is here actually, Bijan.
Yes.
So presentation number 9, please.
Hi, everybody. Do you want to start that and we'll talk about it? Oh, there we go. Great.
So just let me know when you
Sure.
would like me to.
You can change
There we go.
that, and then we could go back and forth and so on. Hopefully you can read what's written there. Anyways, this project I thought of was, I was debating whether I should go with carving the stone. And if you could, yeah, right there, you see that would be something like that. But we could go back to the first one. And so those two options I was thinking of using, one carving the stone, and the other one would be, in this case, which I kind of decided to use metal and concrete and using mesh, and to use the concrete and create that form. So I'm very divided as far as, whether it should have been done with stone or, I think the stone, because of the size of it, 8 by 8 is somewhat large. So therefore, in order to divide that into doable sizes to carry transport and all that. I was thinking of using some kind of in Northern California, they have this gray granite. In order to ship that and partially, separate pieces, the cost was a little bit too much. So anyways, I decided to go with this version, which doesn't have that much limitation as far as the size is concerned. Because I can form that structure, the skeleton, and then maybe two halves, and then bring them together. It will be welded, and so basically, it would, with concrete, you can. The mesh itself, the concrete, the form which forms the structure, it will be pretty strong in order to hold the whole structure together. So, excuse me. So what would be left basically is just basically using the mesh and applying the concrete and forming the shapes basically. So, and then after that, I could use the primer and paint and different texture and so on to create the image. If you want to go further to next, so that would be the concrete version. If I had to, if I go to the stone version of it, it would be like that. Anyways, these are some of the samples that I've included. These are some chalk painting that I did in San Diego. And so since I live in the Coachella Valley, so I have a few things that's happening around here, Indio murals and so on. This is also another metal piece that I did, which was a winner in the Palm Springs Commissioner's Award. And so that also possibility exists for a variety of sizes to create large and small. Anyways, this was also planned to be a situation where people can go behind it and, they can take pictures because then they're shaking with hands with the other. So this is some of the ideas. We'll go to the, this is another stone version of sculpture. So anyways, that's basically my plans are, but if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you. Any questions?
No questions.
Okay. Vanessa?
No questions. Thank you.
I don't know. No, we heard.
I heard you. Yeah, no questions. Thank you.
You got off easy tonight.
I know. I like questions. I try to explain what's involved basically. So in the end, I like the stone version, but of course the cost is the issue as far as the cost of transportation and the stone itself. But as far as the doability of it, it's quite doable because you could carve the horn separately and install it in place of the main structure. So things that was worrying for a while was if the kids climb on it and so on, what would happen? Of course, you have to have engineering plans. So things and doesn't become catastrophic. So, but that's doable as far as the stone holding itself. But anyways, now I'm sticking with it. I'm going to go with concrete. So I don't have a hammer or anything. So sorry.
That's all right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bijan. So our next artist presenter is Edward Steinhauer. And is he on?
Yes, he is present.
Perfect. So that'll be presentation number 10. Edward, would you like us to run it at our end? We cannot hear you. I think you're on mute.
Hello, everybody. Is that better?
Yes, awesome.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I could share my screen here. It might go. Yeah, okay. I could share my desktop. And let's see. I'll try it and see here real quick. Okay. Well, it's not letting me. Well, let me try real quick. Let's see. It says to leave the WebEiner. Okay, so maybe if you do it, it might go a little faster.
May I get presentation number 10, please? Thank you. So please let me know when you would like me to change the slide.
Okay. All right. You could start now.
Yes, we are working on it. There we go. We got it. The first slide, which is your project content, is on the screen.
Okay, if maybe we could skip that and go to the next slide. I'll come back to that if that's all right. Okay, so I just wanted to talk about my previous work and go through that and then get to the project concept in that. I picked, I come from a background of installation art and gallery and museum work. And I kind of made this gradual move into public art. And this is one of my first pieces that I did. And the reason why I chose this piece, next slide, please, is because it really kind of opened my eyes to the political nature that public art can have, and how much things can change, and how it calls, as an artist, you have a tendency of kind of working inside your own head. And it seems as though public art is the complete opposite of that. You're actually working with other people, and it requires kind of a different mindset. Next slide, please. So this piece was it was a very, at the time, I thought a very simple piece. It was to make these tree guards in Brooklyn. And next slide, please. And they were supposed to be modular. And the thing about this piece is that it was instigated by the community, because the community really wanted something to keep the dogs out and out of the tree area, and to just keep garbage away from from the trees and everything. Next slide, please. And so there was around 7 city blocks, and there's 21 different tree guards, and every storefront, or every store owner basically had their own idea of what the project should be and what it should look like, and it was extremely complicated, and the project just grew really got out of control. And it was a challenge to kind of keep everything together and to stay within the budget. And I really learned a lot working on this project and working with other people and the community. Next slide, please. This other piece really kind of was the beginning of what I would call my style of working, and then basically it was it's kind of working more on the conceptual end of making art, and working with ideas and situations like climate change and also working with people and involving the community in the process of making public art. Next slide, please. So in this piece, basically, after I won this prize after Hurricane Sandy in New York, and I'm not sure if you remember that, but it was totally devastating, and you know, to the New York, greater New York community, and so after, in the aftermath, they had this open call, and I won this prize to come out and do work, and my concept was basically to take images, satellite images of Hurricane Sandy moving over New York City, and creating a model off of those images. Next slide, please. And then so the first that was the first part of the work, and then the second part of the work was to actually go around and kind of collect the debris in the area and use the debris to shape the form of this model. And next slide, please. And yeah, involving people in the process and making it. And then in the end, I covered it in concrete. And next slide, please. And this was a form that of the hurricane, basically in a three-dimensional form, and a 3-day process of moving over the city of New York. Next slide, please. This other piece, I chose this piece to talk about because it would be pretty similar to what I am kind of proposing for the city of Indio. And I'd be working with these steel tube, large steel tubes. Next slide, please. So basically, this piece was commissioned for a homeopath center where they use natural processes for healing in this elderly community. And I worked on a team with a team of different artists and also designers and architects, and a lot of it was hands-on work, and it was quite intense. Next slide, please. The piece basically was 10 like 4-story tall medicinal flowers that were placed or planted, I guess, around the parameters of the building. And what made this piece extremely complicated was that the whole building had to be basically restructured so that it could support these 10 flowers around the parameter. Next slide, please. And as you can see, you know, they were in part, you know, planted into the ground and with concrete padding on concrete pads, and then they were bolted to the physical building itself. And then throughout the building were these steel beams that would support the flowers all the way around. Next slide, please. And this is one of the sides of the building where you could see the finished product. But the flowers basically went all the way around the building. But then what was really interesting, what I really liked about this project was using these large steel tubings to create these stems. And I guess that was in part part of my inspiration for my proposal for Indio. Next slide, please. So if we could go to the first slide real quick. My idea, well, that's all right. We could go back to the
Sorry,
go
which
forward.
slide you would like, Edward?
The statement for very first slide.
Very first slide on the presentation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. The inspiration behind this piece was basically a shooting star, and it was it kind of came about serendipitously over a conversation that I was having with a friend, and in short, we both witnessed this shooting star, and then we kind of took it all in, and then another one came, and we just thought, well, maybe whatever you were saying, the universe was lining up with this, and I thought that it was interesting that it something like that could have such a galvanizing effect on our psyche and just bring this kind of sense of optimism, like there's possibilities and there's hope, and there's always, if there's determination, there's a way, there's a path. And so I thought I thought about using that that shooting star as like a form for this sculpture, and not just the form, not just the physical form, but a experiential form, something that that could also be a place where people can kind of participate in, and not just a kind of physical object. Okay, if you could go all the way to the topographical view. Yeah. Okay. So if you kind of with your finger, kind of, if you could, or with a pencil, whatever, when you kind of freehand a star, like just like with, I think 7 points or whatever, and they kind of connect, a 5-pointed star. That was kind of what I wanted to do in a 3-dimensional form. Next slide, please. So I took that as like an abstract form, and in using these tubes, I made it kind of as a 3-dimensional form. So if you could kind of expand that stick drawing that you could do with a pencil that would make a star, then you would get the idea behind the actual form of the sculpture that I'm proposing. Next slide, please. So this is another perspective of it from a different view. Next slide, please. And then this is a close-up of it. And as you can see, it has, on one of the arms, it has a seating area that hangs, that's suspended from one of the arms that comes out. Next slide, please.
Edward, are you there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Hello. Okay. There. Thank you.
You were frozen.
Okay. Sorry. So yeah. So in this seating element, next slide, please. I have a mandala, and in mosaic, there would be like a mosaic of a mosaic of a mandala, basically, and this was inspired by indigenous contemporary indigenous beadwork that that I had seen that reflected on this kind of cosmic nature of a celestial pattern. Next slide, please. And so this is kind of a scale image. Next slide, please. And another part of it here. Next slide. And another view, one more slide. And so basically here, you could see that you could sit on this form like you know, as a seating area, and I thought that was like this would be like a very important part of the piece, because I noticed that there's no seating area in the whole park, and this would be like, this would kind of provide a good place to kind of reflect or to have a, you know, a conversation and actually take part in the sculpture and kind of interact with it in a way that that inspired it pretty much, because the piece was about kind of, you know, the concept of the piece was inspired by basically a conversation. So I thought, well, I could create this area or this space within this greater space where if people wanted to meet or get together, you know, they'd have a place to go and they could sit and have this kind of intimate moment, or they could just go alone and reflect on their own. But basically it would be something where they could really kind of engage and take part in the space with the sculpture. Next slide, please. Okay, next slide. This is just a budget. Next slide. And we could go through this really quick. It's just a walk around view of what the sculpture would look like from different perspectives. And timeline. This is a scale that it could be done in. And this is a top view. And one more slide, please. And this shows where the lighting would be. And basically the lighting could be at on each grounding point of the sculpture. And I think that's it. Next slide.
That's your last slide.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I could take any questions if you'd like, or go into detail if there's anything you'd like for me to talk about.
Any questions, commissioners?
No questions here. No, thank you.
No questions. Thank you.
Mine would be as to what your finish would be on this. Is this just a painted steel?
Yeah, it'd be painted steel. And the color, I don't know if the color comes across there, but yeah, kind of like an orange color. Yeah, that would be it.
Excuse me.
Get me sick, Bill, I swear.
Thank you for that very thorough presentation, Edward.
You're very welcome.
I don't have any questions myself.
I didn't get to see the slide of what the proposed budget was. Was it meeting the full value?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I saw something that said 40 something thousand, so I was just curious.
No. Thank you.
Do you want me to answer that, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Or if we just run that slide back, or is that too late?
It's I think you're referring to the artist fee.
Okay, yeah, it flashed through real fast. I saw a number at the bottom of a page, and that seemed very low. So, okay, that was my question. Thank you.
You're very welcome, and thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
So this was our last presenter for item 6.1. And Chairperson,
6.2.
would you like to go to 6.2 and then at the end do the deliberation? Okay. So we go through item 6.2, which is our Indio mural number 14. This project was to paint the Fred Waring Bridge over the channel, both sides facing the street. And our first presenter is Jessica Macias. I'm sorry. Jessica Macias, she's here. Yes.
It's been 2.5 hours. Can I go have a restroom break, please?
Sure, yeah.
Thank you.
No worries. I took a break too.
And the budget for the project is $30,000.
Then we're on a quick break. Bathroom break.
Use that if you aim it to the screen.
Just click it back and forth. Right? Yes.
Yeah.
Don't go to sleep. I'll get you. And with that wind today,
I love the rain though, but the wind.
it was crazy. All right, Jessica.
It's on. Let's see. So, hello. My name is Jessica Macias, and I am from the Coachella Valley. I have been an artist all my life, and I have been an independent freelance artist for about 12 years. I have worked in the community as an art educator for the Palm Springs Art Museum for 3 years. I would like to be a part of this project so I can be given the opportunity to create something eye-catching and bright for the community on their daily commutes and recreational activities. With my mural, I would like to show as many different forms of transportation as possible. Also to display nature and the animals that we live with in the Coachella Valley who may use, live, or even walk underneath this bridge. So for my design proposal, my art proposal is called Sun Up, Sundown. My theme was transportation between humans and the nature around us. This would be for the south side of the wall. I made different forms of transportation that people would use recreationally or on their day-to-day commute. When looking at these images, you'll see different people using different ways to get where they are going. I wanted to do as many forms as transportation, so people can feel a connection or identify with that image in some way. So, and this would be on the north side of the wall. You'll find the animals that we share this valley with. I wanted to paint the desert animals we live with to remind people and visitors of the Coachella Valley of the animal we share this land with, and to respect their home always and their surroundings. Some of the desert creatures might even use this bridge late at night. They could even be walking under it or even flying above it when you're using the bridge simultaneously. My process for starting this piece was by creating 2 different color palettes that would work well together no matter which side of the bridge you were looking at. Each palette has a total of 5 colors in it for each side of the wall. On the south side of the wall, I chose a series of warm colors that remind me of the daytime when the sun is out and when the heat of the day is in full swing. On the north side of the wall, I wanted to use complementary colors to the south side and give a feeling of when the sun goes down and everything else starts to cool down. The figures of the animals and humans on each side of the wall are painted in their opposite color palettes. I wanted the eye to still be able to connect back and forth between the 2 opposite paintings and connect them. You will notice that most of everyone in these images are not the whole body of a person. I wanted to look at perspective and show the height of people and animals walking or running across in motion, so the animals and humans will be in a life-size scale. So you have those back. The rails on each side of the wall will be painted in the designated color palette of that side of the wall. In this mock-up, I inserted the images on the bridges so you can get an idea of what they would look like in their surroundings. The background color for the swirls will be blended in more evenly. Just for the program that I had, it kind of had to block it and compress it down, so it would look more seamlessly blended together in the background. And then for my timeline, I would like to start this either in December or in January, just depending on kind of the output of funds and everything like that, and get everything going. I give myself about a week for each step in the timeline. So starting like with the wall prep, washing and prepping the wall, primer, and doing the outline work, detail work and color. And then after that, any touch-ups in between. And then finalizing with a UV varnish to seal all the coats for longevity. For my experience, I have about 4 years experience doing public arts, shown below in chronological order. Also shown are a few images of my freelance work. This one right here is for one of the signal boxes that was done for the city of Indio. Here is a public Palm Springs Public Art Bench project for in 2020. Here is some work that I had done with Synergy Fest for some live artwork. And then here's some of my freelance work. And these are just paintings, either on wood or canvas. But thank you all for your time and consideration of my proposal this evening. And if you have any questions, I would like to open it up.
So you're not using stencils. These are hand-drawn imageries.
So on those, I was planning on using stencils and creating the stencils. Yeah, so those would be stencils, but the background images would be freehand.
Right.
Yeah.
So that'd be that nice combination.
Mm-hmm. And then I want it to be as clean as possible. So just that stencil to make those edges super clean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of anything else.
Okay.
That was, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all for your time.
Right. So our next presenter is Hervey Garcia. He also has a translator, Gabriel, with him. Are they there?
Yes, they're here.
Perfect. And I believe they may be able to we have the capability to show the presentation here, or if you guys would like to show it at your end, that's a possibility as well.
Hi to everyone. Hi.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Okay, who is the artist? Who is the translator?
I'm the artist, Herbie Garcia. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And Gabriel. Where is Gabriel? Let me
He's
see.
the translator. You're
Yeah,
speaking really well.
He's my collaborator, and I don't know where is Gabriel. Let me see.
Gabriel is not there?
Yes.
Okay, he's here too. Did you want us to run the presentation for you, or you would like to do it at your end?
I would like to try with my presentation in my computer. So
Okay.
I will try first that way. All right. I will start with my work. I will share my screen. I have a large career in murals. I have worked for public and another places, and I will start with this. Let me see. This is my biography. You guys already have this this version of my portfolio, and I will start to show some of my projects. Here is a mural in San Diego. I made this in during the 2021, and this is a large mural of 6 by 2 meters. This is another large mural for government in my city in San Luis Potosí, Mexico, and this is 18 per 5 meters acrylic on wall. This is another painting. This is in San Diego, California as well. And this is 6 for 2 meters acrylic on wood. This is more about my work. This is a large mural in a wall in a museum. This is in San Cipriano d'Aversa in Italy. This is a large mural by 14 per 3 meters a wall. I made this project for Burlington government in North Carolina in 2019. This is a canvas, acrylic on canvas. It's 3 per 3 meters size. And this is another project for that I made here in Mexico. That is 4.4 per 6 meters. This is another project as well in Chiapas for 6 per 2 meters acrylic paint on wall. And more another mural in Morelia, Michoacan, here in Mexico, and 9 per 5 meters acrylic on wall as well. About more about my project. And this is my social media. If any people can want to see my social media and more about my work. And I will share now the project, the presentation, and okay. So Gabriel will introduce my the presentation. I don't know, Gabriel, if you can talk.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear me now.
Yeah, we can hear, we can.
Okay, great. Let's just wait until the presentation starts.
All right, slide 1.
Okay, well, first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Gabriel. I'm pretty much just helping Harvey on his project. If I think his English is pretty good, as you can actually hear him right now, but I'll just talk for a little bit and I'll let him also do his stuff. So pretty much the project that he's doing is the Feathered Indian. It's a mural that simulates the movement. Pretty much that's the title. It is confirmed by the main artist, which is Harvey Garcia. He's pretty much a graphic designer, muralist, and master on environment by the National University of Mexico. His main collaborator is Angel Viveros, designer, visual communicator. And well, myself, like I said, I'm pretty much just helping him here on translating some of his work he's done. So the proposal is to develop the team by artist Harvey, who has a degree of graphic design, master's degree in arts environmental from the National University of Mexico. He has over 10 years of experience. He has earned actually several awards, recognitions, and exhibitions in different countries, such as like Colombia, Peru, Italy, Mexico, Canada, and United States. He's actually worked for the private sector. And well, you get to see some of his work that he has right now. The current proposal that he elaborated is a tribute to the Indians tribes in the United States through the concept from the first cinematic motion sequence of the horse motion by Edward Murdridge in 1878. I'll let him speak a little bit more about what he's gonna do. Eventually, he's the expert on the painting skills and all that stuff. So I'll let him, if he wants to continue, that way he can actually tell you a little bit more about the mural that he's trying to do.
Thank you, Gabriel. Slide 7. Okay, the mural consists of 606-foot run on the north side drive facing Fred Waring Drive, divided into 203 3-foot squares, depicting the sequence of an Indian mounted on a galloping horse, which magically transforms into an eagle taking flight until it finally exits the mural's field of view. The mural consists of 3 phases of approximately 4 days each, planned in a daily workday of 8 to 12 hours. Each phase has the mission of recovering and preparing the surfaces of the subsequent artistic intervention.
Harvey, I believe you need to speak toward your microphone. You get disconnected.
Oh, sorry.
No
Okay,
worries. Yeah, if you speak toward it, that'd be awesome.
¿Qué dice Gabriel? Que no le entiendo.
Dice que si le puedes nada más acercarte un poquito más al micrófono, que se corta un poquito.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Each phase has the mission of recovering and preparing the surfaces for the subsequent artistic intervention. In the first phase, the metal railing will be treated with alkyd anti-corrosive paint for oil-based metals in a color gradient effect. The second phase consists of the anchoring of effects with acrylic paint for exterior walls and the application of the sequence of the featured horseman at his subsequent sealing with acrylic varnish and a layer of anti-graffiti. The third phase consists of the application of paint for sidewalls in a color gradient format. The budget is $28,552. Slide 8. Okay, below is a video photo montage of how the mural will look from a movie car. This is one version. This is one version, and this is the final. In the end, I put a phrase of a great muralist. This say, aesthetic emotion is useful to men as digestive function. Diego Rivera, Mexican muralist. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions of Harvey? Noe? Vanessa?
No,
Thank
nothing
you.
enough.
No questions. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Harvey. Very creative. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. All right, our next presenter is Chris Sanders. He may not be there. If he's not, is he there, Chris?
No, he's not.
Okay, may I get the presentation number 3 for this item, please? He just sent me an email that he can't attend the meeting for some family emergency. Anyhow, what he's proposing is basically the images that you see, bird flying with different backgrounds and different colors. That's one version. The other version that he's submitting is basically some graphic geometric shapes of hands and flowers for the bridge. So he has 2 options, and those are basically his proposals. So one option, which is the bird flying, the other option, which is this geometric flowers and hands. And that's what he's proposing.
He lives in Lisbon.
Yes.
We've just been an international evening tonight.
That's what you get when you're the Arts Commission of the City of Indio.
That's why we're going to have Layla out there. Can you go back to his imagery, please?
Sure, maybe we make it perfect. And then the other one is the bird flying, birds flying.
Anyone have any questions?
No.
Thanks.
Was the artist proposing both or the same image on both sides of the bridge? Do you know?
He has 2 concepts. So concept 1, so the concept 1 is for both sides of the bridge, and concept 2 is for both sides of the bridge.
No questions?
None.
Very good. Thank you for standing in for the artist, Layla.
Oh, you're very welcome. He emailed me. We had a missed items on the other item as well, but I did not get any emails.
That is 6.2. Item 6.3.
So we're going to item 6.3, which is mural, the accession and the restoration project. As you recall, in 2019, the city hired a conservator team, and they assessed our murals, and then they came up with some recommendations, which the Art Commission reviewed their recommendation. The Art Commission made separate recommendations to the City Council that was approved by the City Council. One of their recommendations was an old Indio mural, which was painted on 2014 by Bijan Masoum Pana. He's here. It's located on Miles Avenue, facing Town Street. And it's peeling. So we reached out to the artist. His repair price was $6,000. He reduced it to $5,000. Then we also contacted the conservator that he said he will be able to repair that mural for $3,500. We reached out to Mr. Masoum Pana and asked to maybe match the price, but he was not able to do so, and the city can go with the lower cost price. So the staff recommendation is to go with the lower cost price. The other two murals, one is the history of transportation, and the other is Marianne's Bakery that was painted on 1997 by Dwayne Flatmo. They're both located on Clark's Truck stop, located on Indio Boulevard. The history of transportation facing Sungold, and it is beyond repair. We need to remove and repaint the wall. The Marianne's Bakery, which is facing Indio Boulevard, that could be restored, which the restoration cost is $2,000. So this is the history of transportation mural, which is facing Sungold. As you see, it's peeling in very bad, is painting badly. There are cracks and almost the image is gone. The mural has been graffitied in large areas. And as you can see here, we reached out to the artist. The artist also said this is beyond repair. So that we are asking the commission to make a recommendation to assess the mural and repaint it. That recommendation needs to go to the City Council for review and approval per the policy of the accession that the city has. This is Marianne Bakery, which, as you see, is facing north. So it is in good shape, except a couple of very small graffiti. And also on the north, there's a crack and some paint flaking, which it will be repaired and restored. This is the Indio or old Indio mural. As you see, the paints are attaching from the wall in several small areas, as you see on the pants of the figures. Also on the car, as you see, that piece is falling, is already fall off. They're also on the bottom that it looks like the paint is detaching from the wall. Also on the tripod, you see the paints are falling. There's a crack there as well, which it looks like the paint is moving and detaching from the wall. So the conservator will basically fix those and then make it to last longer. As I said, our recommendation, staff recommendation is that the commission makes these three recommendations to the for the deaccession of history of transportation mural per the city's public arts deaccessioning policy in amount of almost $8,000. You had in your staff report, you had all those pricing as an attachment. Restore Marianne's Bakery mural in amount of $2,000 and restore Old Indian mural in amount of $3,500. So that concludes my presentation. I'll be happy if you have any questions for me. Mr. Masum Pano is here as well if you have any questions for him. Thank you.
Any comments, questions, Commission? Then on item 6.3, could I have a motion to accept staff recommendation?
I'll move.
Second?
I'll second the motion.
Roll call?
Commissioner Gutierrez,
Yes.
Commissioner Becerra,
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz Zendejas,
She had to leave.
Vice Chairperson Niemeyer,
Yes.
Chairperson Shinsky.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Now, going back to items 6.1 and 6.2, they are action items, but I am not prepared to make a final decision on either one this evening. I think I could have one made by tomorrow afternoon or Thursday morning. Would it be acceptable to the legal system if we?
I don't know that I never had something like that, at the meeting, the decision was not made. So I think since we have a public meeting, the decision needs to be made tonight. The decision could be postponed to another meeting, but I don't think we can make the decision outside the public forum.
I think maybe Bill's suggesting either next month or a special meeting in between.
Yeah, that because I can't make a decision tonight.
Sure. If that's the commission's vote as majority, yes, we can have a special meeting and we
It'd
can
be open to the public.
Exactly. That'll be open to the public and you make the decision there. So you can postpone to that date specific and we can go from there.
If I may, Mr. Chair, we do have a quorum, so we would need to be able to vote, or we have to vote on something. So if we're going to deliberate or hear motions, I think this is the time to do it.
So you want to take care of it now?
No, what I'm saying is we have the capability to vote. It needs to go to the rest of the commission whether or not to postpone.
That's why we don't have them all.
We have a quorum though. We have 4.
Yeah, we do have. Well, I mean, that's just my suggestion. What would the rest of you like to do? Would you like to go ahead and vote on choosing 6.1 and 6.2 tonight, Ahmed? If you're ready, I mean, I'll go along with whatever you guys want to do.
I'm prepared to deliberate. How does everybody else feel?
Noe?
I'm kind of tapping out. I'm okay with postponing, honestly.
Yeah, I think given more time would be preferable on my end as well.
I would like more time. That way we can discuss the pieces too. And I don't really have that in me tonight.
Yeah, and no problem meeting on another date prior to next month's meeting.
So,
well,
so let me just as staff to be a little bit more clear, which is you won't deliberate tonight, you postpone your deliberation and you're voting to a date certain meeting, which will be a special meeting. And the reason for not being able to deliberate, to discuss it tonight and make decision tonight is because of the sheer amount of information that you received tonight, or because then you're not also supposed to talk to each other behind the scene
No,
So,
but
yeah.
if we schedule another public meeting between
Correct.
now, I mean,
Yes.
it could be the 15th, 22nd, or the 29th. They're all
Okay.
Tuesdays. I mean,
Yeah, staff don't have problem. I just need to check to see if there's no other public meetings at here. So we can then schedule it for this building and this address.
I mean, if that's all right, I mean, that's, I would prefer that because I mean, there's a lot of information we got tonight from these people. And there's a lot more than we had. And that's what I'm suggesting.
Okay, I believe somebody needs to make a motion and the rest needs to vote on it. So if the motion passes, the motion passes.
So could I have a motion to schedule another public meeting on an alternative date?
I'll make the motion to reschedule this meeting for an alternative date.
And I would need the date specific.
Oh,
Well, I'm
Pick a date, Bill,
suggesting,
any date.
say again, Noe?
Pick a date, any date's fine with me.
How about the 22nd of November? It's a Tuesday.
That sounds doable.
EJ?
That's fine.
Okay, the motion would be that we schedule another public meeting to cover and make decisions on action items 6.1 and 6.2 on the 22nd of November.
Okay, let me just check real quick the city's calendar to make sure there's no other
Other meetings?
public meetings. Yeah, because there's sustainability meeting, commission and other commissions. Let me just check real quick. And now my computer, let me check it here. I don't see anything on the calendar for 22nd.
All right, that's the date we pick. May I have a second, please?
I will second that motion.
And that's for item 6.1.
And 6.2.
And then the meeting will be at 5:30.
Same time as normal.
Okay, what additional information you may need? Would you like to have a copy of all the presentations?
No,
No?
we have the information we need.
Okay, and then the video is also online. You can always refer to it. And all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Now we need a roll call on this.
Commissioner Gutierrez,
Yes.
Commissioner Becerra,
yes, but I just checked my work calendar and I will not be able to make it on the 22nd. I have a work event, so sorry, y'all.
okay. Vice Chairperson Niemeyer,
Yes.
Chairperson Shinsky,
Yes.
motion carries.
Did Vanessa say she wasn't be able to make it?
She will not. She's got a work event.
Yeah, I have a event that night.
But Cece should be able to. Can you zoom us in from work?
No, it's a youth event, and yeah, we're taking them out to the field, so we're going on a hike.
Okay.
And then also Commissioner Cruz, she's not here, so I'm not sure if she can make it. So it will be, if she doesn't, then it will be only 3 commissioners.
She had an emergency call. She had to leave.
No, I get it. For the 22nd, I
right,
was,
no, yeah, I know.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, then we're on to item 6.4.
One more question regarding those 2 items. Would you like the artists to come back, or you're okay with them just?
I think that all the artists gave fine presentations. We just need to kind of
Okay. All right.
discuss them. Sorry to Jessica.
Thank you.
All right, so we go to item 6.4, which is Jackson Bridge mural, India mural number 13. This went before the city council. City council took the commission's recommendation, which was to increase the budget up to $65,000. So from 45 to up to 65,000. So anything between 45 and 65 could be accepted. So, and the staff also revised the RFP. These 5 portions are what we revised, which is to paint all 4 sides of the 12 columns and 3 wing walls. The design shall include an east design and west design, that they are coherent and in harmony, but not alike. Artists are encouraged to use elements of local history in their design. That was something that the city council was recommending. The city will prepare a traffic control plan and also encroachment plan that will be approved by the city engineer and public works. So those are the 5 areas that we changed. Also, the timeline, we revised it. So the RFP go out in 2 days if the commission approves it tonight. December 12 will be the deadline for submission. January 10th, the commission will select the finalists. January 20th, the artist and city enter into a contract, and we are giving the artist 3 months for site preparation and mural completion. So staff recommendation is the commission to either accept the RFP, the revised RFP per the council recommendation, or if you have any comments or revisions that you would like to the staff to include it in the RFP, you can ask, and that will conclude my report.
Do we have a motion to accept the changes for this RFP?
I'll move to accept and make these changes.
You have a second?
I will second.
And maybe we have a roll.
Commissioner Gutierrez,
Yes.
Commissioner Becerra, Vice Chairperson Niemeyer,
Yes.
Chairperson Shinsky.
Yes.
Motion carried.
So on Coachella Art work update, we don't have any update. I thought we can get some update, but we don't. And that was regarding these pieces. There are 3 dogs. It will supposed to go on Miles Avenue Park, but I don't have any updates, so I apologize. Maybe that's actually a good thing because we can go through the agenda faster. So staff items, I have 2 items for you. This is mural and Indio mural number 12. So this is mural, as you recall, the city, since the construction and existence of Loma Linda Children's Hospital, wanted to do a mural in that framed area. So Daisy is a little girl that passed away to the battle to cancer at when she was 6 years old. So we talked to Linda Hospital, and we put them together with an artist, Patrick Berwinski, which the commission knows him. He submitted a design for a colossal cacti mural, or mural number 12. So these are the two options that he's proposing. He also is working on augmented reality, which the butterflies could fly off the wall, and it will be something for the kids that they visit the hospital to get excited about. These two options are being reviewed by Loma Linda board, because they also have a branding strategy, coloring strategy, and everything. So it's getting reviewed by them. Depends on which one they go with. We get a budget from the artist and we bring it back to the commission as direct proposal. This is on colossal cacti mural. So Zach is working on. Last Saturday, I was there visiting the site, and he was painting it. He did the layout. He has all the numbering there, and he was painting the sky, or the top portion of the mural. He had done wall preparation and primer coat and things like that, and he's basically in action now. So I believe if you go by any weekend, you will see him there working. That concludes the staff comments and updates. So if the commission has any comments or update, that's the time for the commission.
Any commissioner comments?
Just real quick, we did not go over minutes.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Totally forgot.
Good catch.
Well, we can always push it off another thing until another month.
Minutes.
One of these is the combined meetings of the Community Services Commission, I think, and the Public Art Commission. Do we just approve our portion?
No, you approved the entire thing because it was commission inviting them. So it was your meeting.
Okay.
Does anyone have any corrections or comments about the minutes? If not, can we have a motion to approve 5.1, the minutes of April 12th?
I'll move.
Second?
I'll second.
Roll.
Commissioner Gutierrez,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Niemeyer,
Yes.
Chairperson Shinsky.
Yes.
Motion carries.
5.2, the meeting minutes from May 10. Any corrections?
No.
Excuse me.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Commissioner Gutierrez,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Niemeyer,
Yes.
Chairperson Shinsky.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Now, any commissioner comments? Any?
No, none from me.
No?
Not this time.
Not at this time.
EJ has something to say. Don't hold back, EJ.
No, I'm tired.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sorry.
We postpone to 22nd.
We'll postpone my comments till the 22nd. No. My comment is, if there's nothing other business, I'll move to adjourn.
Sounds good.
Phil's got other business.
I'll second.
I don't have any other business. Well, I always do. You know that. I know. I think we can adjourn. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.